Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So I did a bit of grinding with this new prophetic retellings and I've got to that 2000 mark, which means I can go and obtain both of these companions. However, I'm going to have to unlock these premium rewards in order to do so. Unlocking it also will unlock all of the premium rewards with the previous milestone and also the milestone which shall come soon enough with December the 1st. So with this, we can go and claim the Neverwinter Knight and also Corbin the Venerated. So what I'm going to do is copy them over the preview server and we can go and test them out and see how good they are in single target and AoE in some controlled tests. Now if you jump to a alternate character and try to go and claim those rewards, you can see you can absolutely go ahead and do so, making these companions completely account wide. Also, if you want to go and equip them, we can see if we go and just default name it like that, you should also be able to claim it, as you can see within the promo tab of your rewards reclaim agent. So before we jump into the testings, I'd like to just say we can basically obtain a free pack from Alienware. All you'll have to do is click the link in the description below. You'll be able to claim your key once you actually log in. You'll follow those instructions, logging into Alienware account, clicking the get key button, and then you'll click the login at this place and you'll type in the code which you received. If you haven't already redeemed it, you'll get that to validate as then a success, and you can jump over to the claims valuable and claim that Fairy Whisperer's pack right there. And that's going to give you those bunch of items along with that title, Fairy Whisperer. The only really good thing here is a Stone of Health. So we have Corbin the Venerated and we also have his buddy the Neverwinter Knight. Got them both upgraded to that mythic quality so we can go and test both of them out and compare them and see how much damage they can deal within single target, and also see if they have any AoE capabilities. The first thing to note is their equip powers. We can see that this Neverwinter Knight, this is when it's on mythic, will give you 7.5% more outgoing damage. That's pure outgoing damage bonus. However, with this Corbin guy, you can see it'll be utility power and it'll be a 10% chance when using encounter power to give you 11.25% recharge speed. This means that basically whenever you get this to proc, that if you have a cooldown on a power which is 10 seconds, then this will just shave off just over 1 second. So not exactly the best thing, especially when it's only got a 10% chance to proc. And those are both the equipped powers just slotted into there. Corbin's confidence and the Knight's discipline. There's currently a bug with Corbin's bonus, since you can see that even on that mythic quality, it only gives 300 item level. You can see my item level is at 53,600, and we go and slot in something else which is on mythic, which is 750 item level. You can see it's gone up that boost, since it's not giving the item level that it should on mythic. Just something to keep in mind when testing this out. So that's both companions there, but we went and tested them on my build, where we can go and test their actual damage and compare it against each other and then rank them on my chart. And well, firstly we have Corbin here. He'll be the guy you'll be paying for, and he has the ability to go and just hit with his sword and also cast this fireball. Now it's a bit confusing to get him tested properly, since this fireground effect is actually recorded separately from Corbin himself. So we got his act log to look like so, just having over 17,000 encounter DPS, meaning he's really nothing special. But then we have the Neverwinter Knight. He basically looks like a paladin. He even has the Lionheart weapons right there. Fancy, fancy. And he also has the ability to increase your defense of allies by 2%. If you're an ally to him, you should gain that bonus. We have 38.5% defense. We swap him to Corbin and we can see we only have 36.5% defense. So definitely a alright companion to use along with, let's say, Brunner in a trial where you want that extra survivability. As for how well he does with damage, well, we can see that just here. When we attack dummy, he'll just smack him with his mace, and otherwise he'll smash him with the shield. His shield attack being the big hit there. as we can see again with his backlog at being only at about 13.5 thousand encounter DPS. So let's compare those both, and we got this single target DPS test with the pseudo dragon currently being in the number 1 spot, at least on a dummy test. We can see Corbin there, second spot in this comparison, and the knight being at the bottom there. So if we went and threw those on our DPS chart, which I will do so, we can go and sort all of these guys out so that they're in that DPS order. And we can see that Corbin the Venerated is there in 28th spot, with this Neverwinter Knight there at the 56th spot. And these are of all the companions that I've tested. So if I don't have a companion on this list, again, you can look at them alphabetically here, then make sure to go and let me know if that companion seems to be performing in any way that's decent, and I can go test him out for sure. As for these guys within an AoE environment, well, the Neverwinter Knight straight up can only hit one target. That's it. Then we have Corbin, and he does have an attack with his sword that does seem to be some sort of a swing, but there's no way he can hit more than one target. He does have an ability though which will allow him to do so. As we can see, it says he'll be able to cast a fireball, which you can see will cause the area on the ground to burn. Now that area can attack multiple targets within it. However, again, let's refer back to this act log, and we can see this was the amount of damage the dummy was taking. And we can see here's Corbin's combo, and that was about 78% of his average damage. That's pretty huge compared to these other abilities, with his fireball only being 10%, his charge only being that 9%, and the burning left from that fireball only 2%. The burning was outside of his combat log, so that's why I had to make it to record the amount of damage the dummy was taking. So I had to make sure not to hit the dummy as well. And you can see that overall, even if he does have this AoE ability with this burning field, it's really not going to make up any amount of damage. As again, that only racks up to what, 400 encounter DPS? That's nothing. But then you throw in the fireball, adds up to nearly 2000 encounter DPS. But even against 10 targets, that's only what, 20,000 encounter DPS. We have companions that can hit 4 targets and deal over 100,000 encounter DPS. So that's nothing there. So unfortunately, neither of these two companions are really worth anything in the way of being summoned, except for if you really need the extra 2% from the Neverwinter Knight. However, there is definitely one major benefit of this companion. You can see when he's on Mythic, he'll straight up give you 7.5% extra damage overall. This would definitely be something I would run with instead of just offensive stats like the Baby Deep Crow for power, the Golden Cat for just combat advantage. All of those just add to your offensive stats, and the more you have of those offensive stats, the lower amount of overall damage they grant you. Now that is the same thing is true for those bonuses which just add to your damage. Like we have the Bigger They Are from Minsk adding bonus damage, we have the Batiri adding bonus damage, and now we throw this Knight's Discipline adding even more damage, and those things start to add up, meaning they will also, much like stats, just give less damage. But until that gets to like 90%, you're still going to want to stack these damage bonuses, especially when it's getting somewhat easier to cap these offensive stats while in combat, getting stacks from certain gear pieces and so on, like the ribcage from the Gristro horns. All of those pieces of gear can give you more of these offensive ratings, and the more you have of them, the better it is to just have bonuses that give you straight up damage. Of course, that's only for DPS. Healers and tanks want alternative bonuses to give them either healing or defensive capabilities. So that's going to wrap this up. Nothing too special with either of the companions, which is somewhat unfortunate, but I guess it's good to know that they aren't just throwing in a supercharged companion that you're going to try to get everybody to pay Zen for. For example, this Corbin guy is totally what they could have done. They could have given him the extra damage bonus instead of giving it to the Neverwinter Knight, which we can all really farm out. You just have to make sure you're here to be able to do this campaign, because by the time next year comes around, I believe in April, this will go away and you won't be able to farm this anymore. We now have one of the new best in slot DPS equip powers will slot into offense. Again, I'd like to give a massive thank you to all of my channel members for helping me keep my channel going. And if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing. We'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.